Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and welcome to my 48-hour Bookoplathon vlog. So if you don't know, the 48-hour Bookoplathon is a readathon hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, and it is based off of her TBR game, which is Bookopoly. I will leave her channel linked down below as well as the announcement video for this readathon, even though obviously the readathon will be over by the time you see this, but in case you just want to know how everything works, what the heck Bookopoly is, I will leave that link down below because I am not going to go through all the rules for this readathon here because there are a lot and I will never explain them as well as Becca can. Essentially, it is a 48-hour readathon where every 12 hours Becca will roll the dice on her Bookopoly board and we get 2 new prompts. So we're going into this readathon not really knowing what to read, so there's not really any way to plan for this. I do have some books I have set aside that I am hoping can fit some of the prompts that come up, but again, we don't know what the prompts are, only she does, so it should be chaotic. I love doing this readathon. It's probably one of my favorites. I mean, if you have seen my channel before, you know I love 24-hour and 48-hour readathons, so I'm very excited for this. But we are starting the readathon off knowing 2 of the prompts. So the 2 prompts we've gotten so far are gods and a short book or a book under 300 pages. So my plan for this readathon is to pick 1 prompt per roll drop. So I'm hoping to end up reading 4 books. Can she do it? I have no idea. The first time I did this readathon, I read 3, and last time I only read like 1 and almost a second, but I'm hoping this will go better than the last time because last time I was distracted because I had just gotten Laszlo and he took up a lot of my time, but now like I took work off this weekend. I am ready to just dedicate myself to these 48 hours of reading. So the first thing I'm going to start off reading, it's called How to Walk on Water. It is a collection of short stories. It is one of the first arcs I ever got approved of and I never read it. It came out back in 2020. I still haven't read it and it is on my TBR for this month, so I figured that could count for the short book prompt because it is only 182 pages. So I'm hoping to read the whole thing tonight. We'll see how that goes. That is a lot of pages to read in one sitting for me, but I figured since it's short stories, I think I could do it. So yeah, right now it is 6:45 and the readathon starts at 7 in my time zone. I'm currently on sprints on Sid's Patreon right now. So I'm going to obviously I'm going to be on those sprints and I'm going to have Becca's sprints on in the background also to follow along with, but it's starting soon. I just ordered food. I had a very stressful day today because I had a job interview and it's not even for like a big time job. It's just for a part-time job because I need more money. But I might be finding out if I got that job in this 48-hour period, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, so just wanted to welcome the vlog. That's when I'm gonna start off reading. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this since Becca announced it, and even before then I've been hoping she was gonna do another 48-hour round, and she is. Here we are. So I am going to start reading soon. I'm so excited. And I hope you guys, if you participate in this readathon, let me know how many books you read. I'm hoping to read 4. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I was gonna show you the books I have set aside that I'm hoping to maybe use for some of the prompts. So I'm actually in the middle of 2 books right now. I started reading Babel by R.F. Kuang. I got the arc for this book and so far I'm really liking it, but I'm really not far into it. I'm only like 13% and it's like over 500 pages, so I would like to read that this weekend to continue reading it, but also since it's so long it might not be the best to read for such a short readathon, so we'll see. I also started listening to From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and since that's an audiobook, I figure even though it's long, like it shouldn't take me too long to read if I can use that for one of the prompts. And then I also have these 2 books. I have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, and this is very short, so that could be good. Also Dress Codes for Small Towns, which is not as short, but since it's a contemporary, I feel like I could read it pretty quickly. So I have these 2. I also have Leave the World Behind, which, oh, by the way, this is for the 20-something book club for this month. This is for the Buzzwordathon in April, which I did not get to this in April. Then Leave the World Behind is for the Buzzwordathon in May. So, and that one's also very short and that one's on Scribd, so I could use that. Also, so I think those are all the ones that I have like in the back of my mind, but we'll see what the prompts are. Like if I can't fit any of those into the prompts, I will just have to search for something else, hopefully something short. We'll see. That's what I love about this readathon is I love not having a plan because it just brings so much chaos and I love it. So I'm gonna go get settled and get reading at 7 and I'm very excited. So I will update you guys probably again tonight We'll see. I'm excited. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so it's the next day and I finally finished How to Walk on Water. It took me a bit longer than I hoped for. I did not finish it last night. I was on sprints on Sid's Patreon for, I think we were on for like 5 hours, but it was so much fun. Oh my god, I love doing sprints with Sid. We always end up laughing so much. I just love her so much. So that was really fun, but I did not get as much reading done as I would have liked. I did read more than half of the book last night and I stayed up until 1:30 watching the Bookoplathon sprints, and then my plan was to wake up around 8:30 this morning, but I ended up waking up at 5 for no reason, and I spent a while trying to fall back asleep, but I couldn't, so I picked up the book and read for a bit, and then I eventually fell back asleep and woke up at like 10:30 instead of 8:30. But that's just how it is. So I got up, I had to walk Laszlo. It is so hot today, so I am very happy to just stay in for the rest of the day, and I think it might rain later, which would be great. But I finally finished How to Walk on Water. I just finished it like 10 minutes ago and I really did not love it. Like I said, it's a collection of short stories and I don't even know what the theme is. Like, I don't know if short story collections always have a theme throughout the stories, but I don't know what the theme is, except all of them are kind of just like, they all kind of deal with kind of hard topics. There are, I will say, trigger warnings in this collection for rape, for suicide, for kidnapping. 2 stories involved kidnapping. I don't know why, but there they were. And I think there were like drug use and alcoholism, and I think there were a few other ones. So definitely check out the trigger warnings before you pick this up. This only has like 91 ratings on Goodreads, so I don't know if anyone watching this is like rushing to go pick this up, but yeah, I didn't love it. I gave it 2.5 stars. It's kind of hard to rate a short story collection because some of the stories are better than others. I will say, like, the stories I liked the most were all at the end. Like the last 3 stories I actually liked, except every story ended so abruptly. So like I was finally getting into the story and then it would just end and I was like, okay. And I think this is my first short story collection that I've read, at least as an adult. I don't know if all short story collections are like this, where it just ends abruptly. I just didn't get enough out of it. Like none of these stories will stick with me or anything. Some of them were kind of interesting. Some of the plots I actually found very interesting, and like I wouldn't mind reading a whole book about some of them, but it was just kind of disappointing for me and it took me longer to read than I had hoped. But it's done now, and we did get the 2 new prompts this morning. It would have been at 7 a.m. my time, but I only saw them when I woke up, obviously. But the 2 new prompts are to read an ebook or an audiobook and to read a book with a color in the title. So I decided to do the ebook or audiobook prompt, and I'm gonna listen to Leave the World Behind by Ruman Alam because the audiobook is only like 7.5 hours and I listen on 2 times speed, so that'll be like just under 4 hours, I think, like 3 hours 45 minutes. So I think I could definitely listen to the whole thing before 7 o'clock tonight when the next prompts are revealed. And even if I'm not done by 7, like it's not the end of the world, I can definitely read it all today. I don't really have anything on today. The only thing is I think at 2 I'm gonna watch a live stream that Kayla from Books and Lala is doing on for her channel members, because she's doing like a trivia thing and that sounds really fun. So I think I'm gonna watch that, but aside from that I'm just planning on listening to Leave the World Behind for the rest of the day. I don't know completely what this book is about. I think it, like, I've heard from people it's just weird. Oh, and by the way, this is the book I'm using for the buzzword-a-thon for May. I still have to read my April buzzword prompt, but it's fine. But the prompt was to read like a direction, like a book with a direction in the title, and behind I think is a direction. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Kayla gave that as one of the examples for what you could read this month, so it's fine. I don't know what it's about. I just know there's something with a family staying in an Airbnb, and then I think the owners of the Airbnb come and they're like, what the heck are you doing here? Something like that. And then I think the power goes out. I really don't know, but I've just heard it's kind of strange, but I'm very excited to listen to it. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I actually might eat lunch first. It's like 1 o'clock right now. Everything is happening later than I wanted, but that's how these readathons always go for me. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat and then I think start listening to the book, and I think I'll play Switch or maybe Diamond Paint while I do it. We'll see. we'll see where the day takes us. You know, the readathon is still young, everything's fine. I read one book, pretty good. So yeah, I'll update again later.
Let me know. So 3, 2, 1, go!
2021 Book Upload roll number 3. 9. 3 keys equals 3 keys or is cover.
Gavin 2024 tackle. Go.
2021 Book Upload roll number 3. 6. And that is a young notebook.
Oh. Alright, it is almost midnight now and I have just finished Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam, and like literally I finished it 30 seconds ago and then I just took my camera out. But it did take me clearly the rest of the day to listen to, because I did watch Kayla's members only live stream earlier and that was so much fun. She did like a trivia thing, and in one of the games I came third out of like 150 people. I was very proud of myself. So, and all of them were like bookish themed, except one of them was Kayla themed, but she made the question so hard. Oh my god. But anyways, that was really, really fun. So I didn't read during that time, obviously, but like, I'm happy I got to be a part of that. And then I did my diamond painting for a while I listened to the book, and I watched Gavin's sprints with Lexi, and those were also so much fun. I love them so much. Like, today has just been a really good day. I kind of wish I had read more, but also like when I wasn't reading, it was because I was watching Kayla's thing and I was watching Gavin and Lexi, you know, in between their sprints, and so I'm fine with only finishing the book now. But I did finish it, and I knew as soon as I started listening to the book, I was like 5 minutes in and I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this. And I did. I am going to give this book 5 stars. I loved it and I knew I would. It is exactly the type of book I love. It really did remind me of Catherine House, and I know that's a book that not everyone loves, and I think this is also a book not everyone loves. I really liked it. So the synopsis I gave earlier was pretty accurate. It's about this family, and I don't know if it's really an Airbnb, but they rent this cabin. I guess it's a cabin. They rent this cabin, and then the owners of the cabin end up showing up. They tell the family that's renting that there's this blackout that's happened like throughout the whole east coast of the US, and they were driving nearby. They didn't really know where else to go, so they came to the cabin. So the family that's renting, they're like, do we trust these people? Are they who they say they are? Are they telling the truth? Do we let them stay? And it just goes from there. It is just really interesting, and it is definitely the type of book I want to reread physically, because I feel like there's just so much packed into this book that like I have a feeling there are details that I definitely missed because I was listening to it instead of reading it, and I just want to highlight so many quotes. And it was just a really interesting book, and I know some people who don't like this book, they don't like it because there's no real resolution in the book. I don't think that's a spoiler to say that, because you might want to know that before you go into this book. Like, there's clearly something going on and you never really find out what it is. Like, you find out little bits and pieces here and there, but the book doesn't end with it being like, and here's everything that's going on. Like, it really just ends and you're like, okay. I will say the last line of this book, I loved it. I loved it. I really, really loved this book, and it was just very interesting. It discussed like very interesting topics about racism and how we view different people, and like people who grew up differently than us, people who, you know, are living in different circumstances than us. And also it was a really interesting discussion on technology and how we view the world. It was just, oh, I loved it. That's my second book done. I did finish it a bit later than I wanted, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm really happy with the amount I have been able to read so far. And as you saw, they did announce the next 2 prompts, which were a spooky read and a YA book. And my first thought was to read Dress Codes for Small Towns because that is YA, obviously. But I realized, like, if I do pick that book, that'll probably be the last book I read for this readathon, because especially now, like, it's almost midnight. If I can start that tonight, like, no matter how much I get done tonight, it probably won't be enough realistically for me to finish it tomorrow. I know, like, in my head I'm like, well, I have enough time, I have the whole day tomorrow to read it, but it's like 350 pages, I think, maybe a bit less. And just knowing me, knowing I'm gonna be tired tomorrow, I think I could finish it in time, but I definitely wouldn't be able to read anything else. So my next plan, which is what I'm gonna do, is instead I'm gonna pick up A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and that might be a mistake, but it is shorter. It's only about 200 pages and it has pictures in it, so I'm hoping that means I could read it fairly quickly, and then that could give me a chance to at least start a 4th book before the end of the readathon. We'll see, but I think that's what I'm gonna do. I was looking at, like, books from my library, but it'd be nice to read something from my own TBR, so I think that's what I'm gonna do. Even though that's gonna be really sad. All I know about it is it's about a boy who, his mom has cancer, and I think there's this monster and he calls. I don't know. But what I'm gonna do is, because I've been down here for most of the day since Kayla's live show earlier, so I'm gonna go upstairs and get into bed and start A Monster Calls. I don't know how late I'll stay up tonight. Like I said, it's almost midnight. I would like to stay up a little bit longer, but I want to be able to actually wake up early tomorrow and not, like, accidentally wake up early and then sleep in, you know, like today. So I'm gonna go up to bed and start A Monster Calls. Hopefully I can finish it early-ish tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see what the last prompts are. But I have just had the best day today. Oh my god, I completely forgot. So remember, wow, I completely forgot about this. So remember earlier when I said I had a job interview yesterday? Well, they called me today and I got the job. So that's exciting. I literally got it, like, right at the end of Kayla's live. Like, all of a sudden I could not hear what she was saying because I was just like I just got a job. So I now have 2 jobs, but I think it's gonna work out okay. Anyways, I just wanted to share that news. So that's exciting. That's a little nerve-wracking. It's not like a big boy job, you know? It's another just part-time job. Anyways, that's good news, right? Laszlo's here. He's being very cute. He was not being cute earlier, but he is being cute now. Okay, so now I've said everything I wanted to say. I'm gonna go and start A Monster Calls. I've said that like 10 times already, but leave the world behind. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Thank you. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Okay, hi guys, it is Sunday now. I haven't spoken yet today. It is about 2:15 now, and I just finished my third book, A Monster Calls. I filmed my reaction because I knew the ending was gonna be sad, and it was very sad. But it was also like, it was heart-wrenching, but also, I don't know how to even explain it. I think I said what this book is about. It's basically about a little boy, well, little boy, I think he's like 13, and his mom is dying. I don't think they ever say what the illness is, but I'm quite sure it's cancer, but she's dying, and then this monster comes to visit him every night, and in some way it relates to what's going on with his mom. And I don't know, I thought it was just such a great way to look at grief, especially because Connor, the little boy, he feels so much guilt because of like what's happening with his mom and the way he thinks about his mom. And I thought, I don't know, it's such a, I think it's such a good way to look at grief, and the grief that I have experienced in the past year is nowhere near like as heavy, I guess, as Connor's grief, because it's his mom who is dying. And you know, since I have experienced grief recently and I'm continuously experiencing it, I don't know, like this was, for me personally, I found this almost a healing book to read, even though it was so sad. I don't know, it just made me feel good. Like it made me feel safe, I guess is the best way to describe it. Like it's not like I was reading this and I was like, wow, this is so fun, what a great time, but it made me feel safe in the way I think about things and in the way I feel my emotions, especially regarding grief. So for me personally, I found it very healing, but I would say like it does discuss heavily grief and death and like losing someone close to you. So if that is a trigger for you, you don't think that you could read something like this, definitely stay away from it. But if you're like me and you think maybe something like this would help you, then I would highly recommend it. I mean, I know this book has been recommended so many times by so many people, it's really popular and it's been around for a while, but here I am telling you again, I really, really loved this book. Also the illustrations, like, look how beautiful this is. The illustrations were by Jim Kay, which I feel like I've heard that name before. Highly recommend this. I gave it 4.5 stars. It wasn't like quite a 5-star. It wasn't like a new favorite, but 4.5 stars. I thought it was amazing. And I think it is definitely something I would reread one day, maybe when like I feel like I need to feel safe again in my feelings, you know? So that's my third book done for a Bookoplathon, and like I said, it's like 2:15, so there's still a little under 5 hours left. So the last two prompts, which were announced this morning, were water, which could be like water on the cover, water in the title, or even like Becca said, it could even be just a blue book, which is probably what I'm gonna go with. The other prompt though is a scroll, like a feed scroll. I can't remember the name of the prompt, but basically you scroll through either Goodreads or Instagram or Twitter, and the first book that pops up is the book that you have to read. And I really love this prompt in theory. Like it's a prompt that's in my prompt jar that I never got yet, but I love this prompt. The only thing is that there's 5 hours left of the readathon, so if I land on something big, I don't think I would read that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it, like I'm gonna open Goodreads and do it. Actually, maybe I'll try Instagram also and see what I get and do the two. But if those don't work out, then my choice is gonna be Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, because I could do Dress Codes for Small Towns because that is also blue, but it is longer, and Hamnet is really short. It's like a little under 300 pages, which again, I don't think I could read the whole thing before 7, but I would like to try to read as much as I can. But then I'm like, Dress Codes for Small Towns is a contemporary, while Hamnet is like historical literary. So it might be easier to read Dress Codes for Small Towns. Now I'm questioning myself. Okay, before I officially decide that, let's do the scroll feed. Okay, so we're recording. Let me go to Goodreads and let's see what comes up first. So the first book I own. They Never Learn. Do I have that on Kindle? No, I don't. Okay. Ooh. Rock, Paper, Scissors. I do have that. How long is that book? 304 pages. And it's a thriller, so I could maybe read it. Oh god. This is a lot to think about. And it has snow on the cover, which could be like seen as water. Interesting. And I could combine those two prompts. Okay, I'm also gonna, oh god, okay, I'm also gonna check Instagram and see what the first book comes up there. I won't do Twitter just because like I feel like on my Twitter feed I don't see a lot of books popping up all the time because I follow not just book people. So oh hi, Freddie Carter. This is gonna be me. What is this? Hello. Okay, let's see. Hello, Chloe. Does she have a book? Hello. Or should I not include, like, should it just be the first images I see? I don't have that. Oh, Kizzy, exactly. Ooh, I don't know what that is. Oh god. Okay. I mean, I do have the Bone Season on Kindle. I'm definitely, oh, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. How long is a god, how long is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder? Because that's on my Kindle. Ooh, that's 433 pages, so I don't think I'm gonna do that one. Okay, I'm just gonna decide now. I'm gonna ignore Instagram. So I'm gonna decide between Hamnet, Dress Codes for Small Towns, or Rock, Paper, Scissors. That's what I've decided. But I don't know which one to choose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go shower because I need to shower, and then I will think about it and I will get back to you on what I decide. Maybe I'll ask Lisa and Kasey. Okay, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna think, and I will get back to you. Okay, I'm back and I have clearly showered and I have given it a think, and I've decided that the last book I'm going to start is Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. And I talked to Lisa and Kasey, and we decided, first of all, even though Hamnet is really short, it might be too big brained for me to read right now because I am very tired and I really do want to give it like my full attention when I read it. So we nixed that one, and then we were deciding between Dress Codes for Small Towns and Rock, Paper, Scissors. And I think the main reason I'm going for Dress Codes for Small Towns is that it was on my TBR for the month and it was my Buzzword-a-thon book for April, and I still haven't read it. So I think that would be the smart decision to go with. So I highly doubt I'll be able to finish it before 7 o'clock because it is past 3 now. So that's less than 4 hours. So unless I somehow become the fastest reader alive, I don't think I could read that much I mean, I am planning on reading, like, I'm gonna start reading now, and the only break I'll take is to eat dinner later, but I am just planning to just start reading now and not stop until 7, so we'll see how far I can get, but I highly doubt I can read the whole thing, but just wanted to let you guys know that that's what I'm going with. And I'm very excited to read it. I really don't know much about what it's about. I know it's YA, I know it's a contemporary, I know it's queer. That's all I really know, so I'm very excited about it. So I'm gonna go get to reading, and then I guess I'll update once the readathon is over. So I'll see you guys later.
It's so fun. Have you seen that? Mood can't be asked to read ever again. Giving up reading, selling all my books.
Okay, so it is a few days later, but I am here to wrap up this Bookoplathon vlog. So I did manage to get about 100 pages into Dress Codes for Small Towns. I got to page 106 to be exact, and I'm really liking this so far. The writing style is definitely interesting and different. It's not super like easy to read, but I'm more used to it now, so I am enjoying it. I've already tabbed it a bit. I don't know if you can see that at all. There are some quotes that I just really love so far. So basically, I think I explained a bit about what this book was about, but you're following Billy, who is still in high school, and she has this group of friends, and I love this group of friends so much. It's definitely like the found family trope. And oh my god, okay, I just want to read this quote because I love it so much. But basically, this is at the very beginning of the book, but like 2 of the people in this group, they're cousins, and their grandfather dies at the very beginning of the book. It's not a spoiler. And they call each other, like they call their little group the Hexagon, and Billy says, okay, Laszlo started barking right as I was about to read that. It's a little homophobic of him, but Billy says, like in her head, and as I look out over my hexagon, I'm in love with them all. Death can muddle beliefs and raise questions, but it makes love crystal clear. Like, I just loved that. Like, there's been a few other lines like that. I'm just like, oh, I love this little group so much. And also Billy is starting to realize she has feelings for one of her friends, Woods, but her friend Janie Lee has just admitted to her that she likes Woods, and Billy's also starting to realize she might also like Janie Lee. So there's a lot of drama waiting to happen, but I am really enjoying it so far, so I can't wait to finish this up. I'm gonna finish, since the Bookoplathon ended, I've picked Babel back up, and then once I'm done that, I'm gonna finish this one. But yeah, so just to recap, let's talk about the books that I did read for Bookoplathon. So the first book I read, which was for the prompt short book, was How to Walk on Water by Rachel Swearingen, and I gave that 2.5 stars, I think, so not the best. Then I read Leave the World Behind by Ruman Alam, and that was for the prompt. Listen to an audiobook. That could also count for spooky, the spooky prompt, because, and also water on the cover, but it is a little spooky, and I gave that 5 stars. I loved it so much. Then I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, which could also probably count for spooky, but I did read this for the YA prompt, and I gave this 4.5 stars. It was really good, and yeah, made me cry. And then I started Dress Codes for Small Towns for water on the cover, which Becca said you could interpret that as just blue on the cover, so here you go. It could also count for YA, maybe something else, I can't remember at this moment. But yeah, so in total, I know I read 900 something pages. I'll put the exact number on the screen, which is not the best. I saw some people read like over 1,000 or even 2,000 pages. So I mean, I know like a lot of people read graphic novels, which obviously can read quicker. So I didn't do the best, but I think for me, I did fairly well. I did spend most of the weekend reading, but I also did some really fun things. Like I was on Sid Sprints, and then I did that trivia thing for Books and Lala. So I had a really fun weekend mixed with like reading and also other fun things, and the sprints were just so much fun to watch. And yeah, so that's it for my Bookoplathon vlog. Thank you so much to Becca for organizing this and hosting it. Her mind, I cannot fathom. But yeah, let me know if you participated and what books you read. How many books did you read? Let me know if you watched this whole time. Leave, okay, I feel like the dice emoji would be too obvious, so instead leave a shoe emoji for Dress Codes for Small Towns, obviously. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!